Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be unboxing the SW10 subwoofer from Fosi Audio. In this video, I'll show you all the little quirks and details of the subwoofer. And last, I'll measure how the SW10 performs in my room. As you see, the SW10 comes in a huge box. A box in a box actually. The gross weight of the package here is 22 kilograms. It's very well protected with two cardboard boxes. Inside the inner box, we have a piece of thick protective foam, a small box housing the power cord, and the user manual. So here's the SW10. The sub itself weighs 14 kilos. Honestly, I think this is the most non-subwoofer or speaker-like subwoofer in terms of looks. Just a rectangular box with rounded corners and no logos. It looks more like an air purifier from the front. For those who don't have a listening room, I think the SW10 would be more aesthetically pleasing when put in a living room than a typical sub, which probably makes it easier to persuade your wife to let you put a giant box in her living room. Let's take a closer look at the sub. It has a 10-inch polypropylene driver with pretty thick surrounds. The base has 4 rubber feet, which are bolted on with screws. And there are 2 base ports at the back. Taking a peek inside the ports, there is some kind of dampening mesh or fabric at the end of the ports. All the controls are controlled by this panel at the back. The SW10 has a 200 watt Class D amplifier. Taking a closer look at the panel, the first knob is the crossover knob that allows you to adjust the crossover frequency from 40 Hz to 180 Hz. Then there's the phase adjustment knob. The SW10 has a variable knob instead of a switch, which allows you to fine-tune the phase alignment. The third knob is the volume switch. Then we have a set of RCA outputs, which passes through the line-in signal so you can daisy chain another sub or connect it to an amplifier if it doesn't have a subwoofer out. For inputs, we have a set of RCA ins that can be used as LFE inputs or line-in inputs, which can be toggled from the switch here. This is the EQ switch that allows you to choose from 2 EQ modes. And this switch enables the sub to go into standby mode when idle for 15 minutes. Last, we have the power button and power cord input. The SW10 supports universal voltage. Okay, time to plug it in and measure it. I'll be using the Mini DSP UMIC 1 in the 90-degree orientation to measure the SW10. So here's the in-room response of the SW10 in my room. The purple curve is the EQ1 curve, and the blue curve is the EQ2 curve. In EQ1 mode, the output is a little bit higher around the 35 to 70 Hz region, but it's not as linear as EQ2. In my room, I think EQ1 is a bit more linear due to room modes. The null around the 70 Hz region here, and the peak at the 90 Hz region is triggered by room modes in my listening room. So you can experiment and see which EQ works better in your room. The output of the SW10 starts sloping off around the 100 Hz region. So we do have quite linear and meaningful bass from the SW10 from around 35 Hz to 95 Hz in my room, which does match the spec sheet in the user manual. So this is the unboxing and in-room measurements of the SW10 for now. I'll continue to test and review it, so stay tuned and subscribe for the full review. In the full review, I'll talk about how the SW10 integrates in my system and share with you some placement and integration tips. If you have anything you would like to know about in the full review, or if you have any questions about the SW10, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching.